college basketball is falling fast. I think the NCAA is ruining college basketball as we talk. And a lot of this is talking about some professional players potentially getting into college basketball. We're seeing it already happen on the European side coming in. That's one thing. But if you are a player that has played in the NBA, you should not be able to play college basketball. Full stop. That should be it. We are starting to see a little bit of red tape. We're starting to see a little bit of things happening. And James Nei has just enrolled in Baylor. Now, he has not played in the NBA, but he was drafted to the NBA, played in the G League. He hasn't played any games right now. Now he's going to be playing with Baylor. We're seeing certain coaches pop out and saying terrible things about this, saying this is terrible for the game. Obviously, legendary head coach for Michigan State, Tom Izzo, what he said about it, said, I'm a little surprised. He's got to call Scott Drew, who is the head coach of Baylor. He's anxious to see what he tells me. If we're dipping into guys who are drafted to the NBA, shame on the NCAA and shame on the coaches too. He was not afraid to let his thoughts know on this process. What do you think? Is this a terrible idea, or is this something that's just inevitable? It's bound to happen.
This feels to me like, college football feels a little bit like we're driving down this hill into a pit of lava. Like we can see the end coming. It's a little more gradual. It's been like this for a little bit, but it's not like a shock. Like everyone's like, yeah, there's major problems with this whole thing. Basketball, I feel like we're way up here. We're just driving on the road, and all of a sudden it's a cliff. We have gone off the cliff. All of a sudden we have gone, full on like Armageddon. This is terrible. I cannot believe college basketball has gone from being the premier college kind of sport, right? Like with what the tournament looked like and the regular season, the level of competition, like it was so much better than football, to now, like imagine if college football was drafting NFL players. You can't even put those in the same realm. This is a major problem. So the fact that in college basketball we're bringing back these NBA guys and it's not that big of a deal, the NCAA is like, yeah, you have 4 years of eligibility to go. No, we have now officially lost the sport in like overnight. It feels like it was extremely quick. This came out of nowhere. I think we had the initial kind of G League player who was coming down. I believe he went to BYU first. I can't remember if that was the first player or not. If I'm incorrect, excuse me. But there was one initial kind of player, and then all of a sudden the gates were blown off. And now all the G League players are like, hey, can I come back? Hey, if I was drafted number 31 overall, it's not technically the first round. Is it good for me to come back? I've only played 8 games. That's only single-digit games. Can I come back? Like, I'm not making as much money up here as I thought. I might need a little more time to develop. And, of course, these colleges are going to say, yeah, we would love to have you back. Like you are good enough to be in the NBA. Of course we want you on our team, as opposed to this freshman who wasn't sure what major he wants to have yet. Like, yeah, you want the guys who are going to go pro on your team. This is a major problem for the college basketball landscape. The NCAA doesn't care. They cannot be a governing body anymore. This, to me, shows that they cannot do it. They have no power anywhere because they're just trying to avoid being sued. Like that doesn't work. If you're a parent, you can't just avoid trying to be yelled at by your kid and just give them whatever they want. That's not how parenting works. If you're the NCAA, you can't just say, hey, anybody can play. LeBron, you want to come back? It'll help our sport. Like, that's terrible. This is the worst thing I think college athletics has probably ever seen. And that's saying something, because college athletics has seen some stuff.
Yeah, you have to draw a line somewhere in the fact that the NCAA, you're right, the fact that they're trying to just act like a governing body that's just afraid that they're afraid, they're just here so they won't get fined, right? They're afraid that they won't get in trouble, or they will get in trouble. So that's why they're not really saying anything. They're allowing things to happen. How far can we push it until it finally just breaks? And right now we're at the tipping point 100%. The Najee one is 1 point because obviously he just went to the G League. He was drafted. Yes. He was drafted. And I am completely on the side of, if you're drafted the NBA, you forego your eligibility. You're done. You have decided. that you are going to be a professional. Whether you play or not, whether you step on that court as an NBA player, the fact that you were drafted as an NBA player, you're done. That's it. I think that's the possibility. But right now they're trying to find that red tape. Scott Drew, the head coach of Baylor, said that he wasn't in favor of signing pros when it first came about, but he said, quote, "But again, we don't make the rules and we find out about things. We're always going to adapt to put our program in position to be successful because that's what we get paid to do." I kind of not going to blame him. I don't blame him for that. It's just the whole process of adapt or die. We see it in college football with this NIL transfer portal. We see what Texas Tech has done, buying all those players in the portal, right? Some people are saying, hey, you bought the team. You're the New York Yankees of college football. Well, they're in the college football playoffs. They're doing what they need to do, adapt or die, right? Scott Drew here. He hasn't made he was the 8 or 9 seed in the NCAA tournament last year. Baylor used to be seen as a national championship contender. They won it in 2020? 21. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't blame them for doing it, but the fact that they even can think about doing it is insane. There's also been a report out. Now, there's been reports that this is either some fabricated report or if this is actually true, but Joe Tipton and Von 3 report that Chicago Bulls two-way player Trenton Flowers is also drawing interest from many college programs. Trenton Flowers has played in NBA games as recent as 3 weeks ago on the court for the Chicago Bulls, not G League, the NBA. And there's talks about him potentially coming back. He was a top 25 recruit in 2023. He initially committed to Louisville, and now there's reports that maybe he will be playing in college basketball. If that happens, I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah, the trajectory on it is what gets me, because, if you had told me 2 months ago, even because before college basketball season, I don't remember anything like this even being remotely talked about. So, we're halfway through the football season. You say to me, hey, can you believe they signed that G League player? I would say, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Now, if you told me, hey, they signed Trent Flowers, I'd be like, awesome. Of course they did. That's the trajectory we're on. That's what I mean. Once the car has driven off the cliff, it's going to take some crazy miracle for that thing not to just fall into the pit of lava and be done. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have the answers. All right. Look to Ryan Hammer, who is the new kind of chancellor of college basketball. I give him all the credit. The dude knows ball. He has some great ideas for how to approach eligibility. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have the answers. Okay. But I you want to bring up European pros coming over and this, I get it. It's complicated, but this cannot happen. The way that this is going, it will not only will it completely erase what college basketball is, it will make it completely meaningless and a complete laughingstock. We are going into this is unacceptable territory, which I really legitimately, I can't stress this enough. This came out of the blue. And that's what scares me the most. This wasn't some trend that was setting up a slow burn. It feels like college football is a slow burn. You boil the frog. This was just oh, I forgot I had that pot boiling. It boiled over. Now I got to clean up all the starch because I was boiling pasta. This is not a good situation.
Mark Few, another legendary coach in the game. He's the head coach at Gonzaga, been there for quite some time. He made a statement on this, and I think he said it perfectly. He said, quote, "Our lack of leadership has really shown. Now it's probably time to get some help from Congress, but they're more screwed up than the NCAA. They've got to start listening to coaches." This is a guy who has been right in the forefront of having to deal with the NCAA this season alone. The NCAA denied Tyon Grant Foster a waiver to play this season after he missed 2 seasons in college due to cardiac arrest medical issues. Now, he finally got back. He finally got to play. The waiver finally got approved. But now you're trying to bring in players that have logged NBA minutes and saying, yeah, you can come back to college basketball, when we have other players who are not being eligible for the return because of medical issues initially. Unreal. I mean, it's just absolutely unreal. It's obviously just follow where the money is. That's all that matters when it comes to this point. It's absolutely insane. The system is completely broken.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is what happened to the sport I love, man.